What up, everybody? Welcome back to Let's Talk Podcast with your boy Dustin Calloway. Yes, sir. I'm back. For another episode. Before we get started, please smash that like button. Smash the like button. Smash the like button. Smash the like button. It's right there. It's right there. Just hit it. Press like. Press like. It helps with the algorithm. It helps get this video and get my channel pushed out there to more people. Subscribe to my channel, please. And turn on the bell notification so that when I do drop a new video, you'll be notified. And you'll see that little bell pop up on your YouTube page. And then you can tap in with me. All right? So we're going to jump right into it, man. We're not going to hold on and, stretch this thing out. We're going to get right into it. So, I was watching this podcast, right? And on that podcast, it was this dude on there called Dr. Umar Johnson. And he was having a conversation with somebody about interracial dating. And during that conversation, he kind of got a little heated, and he just basically, in a nutshell, he don't believe that black people should date outside their race. Flat out. We should not date outside of our race. So I have like some crazy mixed up feelings about the whole situation. On one hand, I say love who you love, right? But then on the other hand, it's kind of like, okay, are you dating outside your race because it's easier? You know what I'm saying? Or do you really love who you love? In my experience, man, I can't sit up here and lie to everybody and say, oh, I've never dated a white girl before. I have. And in my experience with dating a white girl, I didn't go outside and do it because it was easier, and I was like going through so much with black women that I didn't want to date black women anymore. So I'm like, let me go date this white girl and see what it's about. Nah, because I think I was probably like in ninth grade or something like that. Honestly, it was because the white girl that I was dating had a big old booty. That was it, for real. She had a big old booty. That's literally what it was. She had buns. That's all it was for me. It wasn't because it was easier or nothing like that. Nah, she just had a big old booty. That was about it. But on this episode that Dr. Umar was talking, that he was on, I got to sneeze. Bless you. Thank you. But on this episode that Dr. Umar was on, he basically was talking about, oh my God, I got to sneeze again. Bless you. Thank you. I just came from outside raking the leaves. He was basically talking about how when people, this is just one small thing that they was talking about. When a black man dates a white woman, a successful black man, right? That has wealth, he builds up wealth. He was basically saying that wealth that black man builds up, it basically ends up getting turned over to white people. If he was to pass away, or even in a divorce, right? Like we could take Tiger Woods as an example. I mean, I don't know if he wants to claim being black, but he's a black man to me. In his situation, you know what I'm saying? Like a nice amount of his wealth got moved over to a white woman. And basically what Dr. Umar was saying is that white woman basically can take that man's wealth and take it right back to her white community. She can go ahead and settle down with a white guy if she wants to, and white people have wealth again. They have more wealth over there on their end versus saying, let's just put a black woman in that position with Tiger Woods. Even though this relationship went bad for whatever reason, that wealth that she gained is still in the black community, is with a black person. So basically that's what Dr. Umar was basically saying. Like a lot of our successful brothers get out here and we build up something, and the first thing we do is we run over to a white person or to a white woman, and we basically give it all to them. So, I mean, it's kind of like on one end, I look at it like the love who you love type of deal. But on the other end, I kind of understand what he's saying. Not even kind of. I do understand what Dr. Umar is saying, because you see it all the time with athletes. You just see it all the time. And honestly, like I said, in my situation, I didn't do it because it was just easier to deal with a white woman over a black woman because, you ain't have somebody that had a little bit of fire behind them, you know, in a relationship with you. No, that wasn't my situation because I've had my share of black women issues in my relationships, past or whatever, but that don't mean it's going to be the same with everybody. It don't work. No, I don't believe in that. So in certain situations, though, I do agree that I believe some of these black dudes do go date white women because they think that it's going to be easier over there on the white side. And I do see it. Like, I know a couple people that I'm friends with that are in relationships with white women, and I see that easy side that, people refer to. I gotta sneeze again, I'm sorry. But I see it. Like, I know these dudes settle down with the white woman and it's easy street over there. But that's not to say that all white women are like that, because they're not. Like, I know some white women who have fire behind them too, that you ain't finna just come over here and think you about to have a cakewalk and walk and run me down. And nah, they don't, it's not like that. I can't just say that all white women are easy pushovers and all black women are just tough to be with. No, that's not true. I don't believe in that. But I do have a question for those outside of the whole wealth thing and it being easier to date a white woman, or, to the black wealth thing getting removed from black men and moved over to white women. I got a question. For those of you that are involved in an interracial, relationship, I've always wondered, because I've never been, when I dated a white girl, I was young. But now that I'm grown, right, we see a lot of racial injustice, right? Like, a lot. I mean, I'm pretty sure it was going on back in the days, but, I was young, wild, just living as a kid, didn't worry about nothing. Didn't think about too much of anything, and like that was, related to that. How does your partner respond to racial injustice? That's something that I've always thought about, because you never really hear it, right? Like, you can go through TikTok, you can see a few, you do see a lot of, I won't say a lot, but you do see white supporters of, black people on there. And not that doesn't say that they're in an interracial relationship, but I do see some of the supporters. But I want to know from the black dude that's dating a white girl, or the white dude that's dating a black girl, or whatever, blah, blah, blah. How do y'all deal with it, right? So do y'all talk about it? Or do y'all just overlook what's going on and y'all kind of just stay focused on each other and that's it? Because it's a bigger world outside of y'all relationship. And I'm just wondering if y'all kind of just overlook those things, or do they ever speak up for, in support of your people? I just really want to know that. Because like in my experience, like just to go back on, the white girl that I dated, her dad was racist. He didn't like white people at all. Black people at all. He was racist. And she told me that out her mouth. So I never got a chance to go over to her house, like to ever meet her parents. I never met her parents. The only time I was able to go over to her house is when her parents went to work, and she basically snuck us over there. And she just was one of those kids that had, people in the house when her parents was going to work. But other than that, never. Because she told me, she was like, yeah, my dad is racist. He doesn't like black people, flat out. So I never got a chance to really go over there and be around her and, spend time with her. And that wasn't the reason why we broke up, but I'm just saying that's my experience with, dating outside of my race. But I'm definitely curious about how y'all handle those racial topics. Like, do y'all talk about it at all? I really want to know, because I know I did see another episode where it was something different. No, it was actually the same episode. No, it was like two different episodes, I believe. Where Dr. Umar was on, he was on some lady's show, a black lady's show, and it was two black dudes on there it was two black dudes well, in total 3 black dudes, including Dr. Umar, but they were on there talking. And both of the black dudes that he was talking, going against, they both were in interracial relationships or whatever. And he basically, this was that same episode that I'm talking about. He was basically like kind of grilling them about, the same type of stuff. And he basically asked them like, how do you deal with that? Injustice in a relationship or whatever. And the dude basically just said, well, I make sure I tell my kids and this and that, blah, blah, blah. This is what's going on. And I make sure that they understand that, you give everybody a fair shot. Right. And I get that. Like I'm a firm believer in, if I don't know you, I don't have anything against you. I don't even know you. So I can't hate something that I don't know, someone that I don't know. I don't know you. So I can't hate you if I don't, you didn't do anything to me, right? So everybody get a fair shot. And if you fuck me over, that's when when we hit that, that brick in the, that little pit stop. When we hit that, that's when it's going, it's going to be an issue. I'm going to get off the train or whatever, and I'm going to keep it moving, or we're going to have to fight it out or whatever. But I'm just a firm believer in that, though. If you didn't do anything to me, I'm not going, I can't be mad at you about anything. But that can go a few different ways, though, because you do have situations in this world where sometimes you kind of wonder, like put it like this. I watch I look at a lot of different videos on WorldStar, right? And I see a lot of messed up stuff, like that just happens. And I can always sympathize when somebody is going through something rough and it's like, it's something bad that happens to somebody. I can be like, damn, that's crazy. And I don't mind speaking up about it. But I do get to a point sometimes when I be like, man, does anything that we go through bother white people? Because there's so much stuff that you see online, right, where it'll be something that happened to a certain group of people, and then everybody in the world will get behind them and back them and support this and support that. But the second something happened to a black person or a group of black people, it's kind of like nothing. Or if we do speak up and we say something like, in support of our people, it's kind of like everybody start looking at us like, well, what about these people? And what about those people? So that's just taking it to a whole nother level, though. But I'm just curious, like on interracial dating, do you love who you love? Is that the reason why you're in that situation? Or are you dating outside of your race because it's easier? It's easier for you as a black man to go date a white woman, one of the easier to get along with and deal with white women. Is it easier for you to do that? Do you believe that you're part of the problem? As far as black wealth is concerned, you make a lot of money, you get a career, you get some status in this world, and then you kind of give it all away to a white person. Do you think that's an issue? Do you believe it's an issue? Racial injustice. How do you handle it in your house? How do you deal with it? Just curious, But yeah, we're going to go ahead and move on. So I know I talked about this before. I'm pretty positive I did, but I got to touch on this again. So I'm scrolling through Facebook again, as usual, and I see this girl on there. Every time I see her page, she half naked, she twerking, popping her ass, she doing all types of shit, right? On social media, all over it. And then I happen to see her put up a post talking about, again, complaining about how men ain't shit and it ain't no good men out there. It ain't none. None. So I'm just like this. How do you expect to find a good man that's going to actually want to be with you if you on social media all the damn time naked popping your ass on social media? Do you not understand? See, that's the one thing that y'all got to understand. Understand this. Us men, we are pretty damn simple, man. We pretty simple, right? Yeah, we like seeing the half naked ass. We like seeing the twerking, the booty. We like seeing the titty videos and photos. We love it all. You know why? Because it stimulates this down here. That's what it does. I don't want to get to know you. Put up more videos of you twerking and showing your booty. Put up more bikini photos and all that. I put them up because that's what you came out the gates leading with. You're free to be who you want to be. Do whatever you want to do. You are free to do that. But on the flip side of things, a majority of us men are not trying to wife women like that. Hear what I'm saying to you. A majority of us are not trying to wife women like that. We are not. And if you do get a dude like that, it's probably a dude that ain't never had no type of good looking chick in his life, right? Probably came up on a little bit of bread or something and he's just like, man, I got to have that. So he's willing to risk it all for you. But then guess what happens when he get with you? I don't want you dressing like that no more. I don't want you doing none of that stuff that you did when I met you. No more. Stop doing that. Stop putting up the pictures on social media. That's all my stuff. That's mine. That you mine now. Nah. And then those relationships like that go bad. I know some of y'all can relate. When you expose yourself like that on social media, man, the first thing that we think about as men, we don't think about trying to get to know you. We don't want to get to know you. I want to smash something right now. You got your ass out. Thong up your ass crack. Booty cheeks falling on the left and the right, and you in the mirror twerking to a TikTok video, to a TikTok song, because you following this trend, right? Remember the one when y'all women was standing there, put your hand on my, then the red light cut, and then you in there standing there, your silhouette naked, or you over there twerking in the red light. I don't want to get to know you. Now I want to come to your house and I want to see you in that red light. Yeah, I'm going to message you. Hey, how you doing, queen? You know, just wanted to know if I could take you out on a date, you know, just to get to know you. All of that. We saying all of that to y'all. You know why? Because it's a game. I know what I'm coming for. I'll tell you anything. The first thing that got me through the door was seeing you naked or seeing you half naked, twerking. That's what I'm coming for. So yeah, I'll disguise it as, I want to get to know you. You know what I'm saying? I'm just looking to build up a future. And you could be having a good old nice conversation back with that man. But he already know what he coming for. Because that's what you led with. But in our minds, all we're going to do is we're going to create this game and we're going to come get you. We're coming to get the buns. Sorry. We ain't looking at the photos and videos thinking, damn, I want to get to know her. I want to settle down with her. I promise you that, man. And like, don't get me wrong. Like I said, I get the freedom side of what you all do. But do you think you helping yourself in this I can't find a good man situation? Do you think you helping yourself at all? You're not. You are not helping yourself at all. You on social media doing man, look, just go to Instagram and go to the little page where you could just see a bunch of random whatever. You're going to see chicks over there posing. And you know, the crazy part is about that social media stuff, that attention that y'all seeking, it's so addictive. It's so addictive. Like when y'all, I noticed that it's so crazy to me that like, this is how y'all display yourselves. A lot of y'all, not all, some, not all, but you'll have a phone sitting in your face like this and you could just take a simple picture like this. Or just like step back, show your outfit. But you know the first thing that they do when they take their photos? They put the phone up on something, and then the first thing they want to do is they want to put their ass cheek on display. One cheek, and they do this stand where they move their legs a certain way. It'll make the booty plump out a little bit more. But that be the first thing y'all do. You put your ass on display. You put your titties on display for a man. But on them same pages, you go around talking about how men ain't shit. How you can't find a good man to save your life. And the crazy part is, it's another flip side to that coin. It be some good men out here looking for y'all, right? They be out there, but they too corny for y'all. They not swagged out enough for y'all. They eyes ain't a prettier. The eyes ain't hazel. They skin ain't light enough for you or whatever color you need it to be. They don't have enough freckles. They don't have enough waves in their hair for you. They don't wear enough name brand clothes for you. They don't talk cool enough for you. They don't act hard enough for you. Like I gotta be a gangster around you. You know what I'm saying? They ain't enough of that for y'all. So it ain't no good man out there for you. You right. That's because you keep dating the same type of fucking men. You keep dating the same type of men. You fall for anything. And trust me, I know this because I was that dude that, man, I could say anything to these girls, man, back when I was doing what I was doing. I could say anything to them. And they just fell for it. And I'll be like, damn, you ain't gonna do no investigative work whatsoever. And that's why the cheeks came so easy because it's like you realize that it worked one time. Okay, it may not work the next time with the next chick, but let me change this up because I know what threw this one off for her. And I just alter that a little bit. And now I got a program that just keeps working. It just keeps working. But y'all got to stop falling for the bullshit, man. You got to stop doing it to yourself, man. Stop going on social media complaining about how men ain't shit and you on there half dressed all the time and you keep attracting the same dudes that's just going to slay you and lay you out. Skeet and skedaddle. That's what they going to do. Flat out. Ask more questions, man. Dig deeper. Flat out. Sorry. Okay, moving on. Moving on. Okay, so let's talk real quick for a little bit before we close this episode out. I got a question for y'all, man. What is the worst thing that you had to do to get out of a date or to get somebody to leave your house? Right? What's the worst thing you ever had to do? So I was watching a show the other day, this podcast. It's called Rollout with Speedy and Friends, something like that. And basically Jamie Foxx's best friend, but he got a podcast. It's hilarious. So I'm watching the show, right? And one dude is on there named Anthony Wanzer, and he was telling a story about how he had this chick that he was messing with one time, right? And after he got to know her a little bit on the date that they had, she flew in from out of town to come, visit him. So she was going to lay up at his crib with him until it was time for her to go home, right? So, throughout that date, he started figuring out that she was a little nuts, like she was a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs or whatever. So as the date went on, he knew for sure that he had to get away from her, right? So the next day she had to fly home. It was her time to fly. So she told him, like, look, you paying for my Uber to get me to the airport so I can fly home. And he was just like, what? And he was just like, nah, I ain't doing that. But so he was like, he knew he didn't want to take her or whatever. So he was just like, he played it off like, damn, man, I got to go to court in the morning, right? So I'm thinking, okay, that's pretty simple. That ain't hard at all, right? So he like, I'm thinking he just going to get up and just play it off like he going to go to court, blah, blah, blah. So this dude said that it got so bad to the point where she was like, well, look, I'll just stay here until you get home from court and then you could just take me to the airport. And he was just like, no. He just basically told her, no, you can't stay here. You have to go. She was just like, all right, well, cool. I need you to pay for my Uber though. And he was like, all right, cool. So this dude said that he put on a full suit, tie everything, got dressed, put on a suit like he was going to court and drove around the corner from his house, sat a couple blocks away and waited for her Uber to come and take her away. I'm like, man, listen here, man. I'm like, God, that's bad, man. That's bad. Like, I ain't never been in that position where I had to, like, get dressed, put a suit on, and leave the crib. Now, that's bad, man. But I had, like, a similar situation to that. Like, my situation was, I was dating this girl one time, right? And it was similar to Wanzer's story. It was kind of like, she was a little She was a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. I knew she was. Something was off about her, right? Something was really off about her. She would lie. Like when I met her, she told me that she had worked in the music industry, right? So I was like, all right. But I'm thinking to myself, like, I met her at my job. So I'm just like, why you work here then? I'm like, all right, cool. Now I ain't say shit. I just let it ride. So as I got to know her more, right, I noticed that as while we were dating, she never would like invite me to her house, but she would always come to my house. So I'm like, okay, something is wrong. Something is wrong, man. So I'm like, I kept like putting the pressure on her, like, hey man, I can't like come to your crib. She was just like, cause my crib, she said something about the house was under renovation or some shit. So she had 2 kids. So she was coming to my house, right? And for a minute, I didn't even know when she was coming to visit me. I'm thinking she dropping her kids off to her parents' house or somebody's house to watch them. And they was like, they wasn't little kids or whatever. Man, the whole time she had them kids in the driveway, in my driveway, in the car, sitting in the car while she was in there chilling with me. I'm like, okay. When I figured that out, I felt bad. So I told her, they can come in or whatever. And I felt bad. So one thing led to another. I said, you know what, man, something ain't right. Dig a little deeper. So I started to dig a little bit deeper. I looked her up online. I had to look up, do some background searching and stuff like that. And because she had fed me this story about the music industry, she had said that her mom had something that passed away and she left her a whole lot of money. So I'm like, all right, cool. And I'm still not believing her though, because she was kind of like still like penny pinching and living check to check and was just like always complaining about money. And she said her mother had left her over $100 and something thousand. So I didn't believe her, right? Until one day she had asked me to like borrow some money until she had went to the bank. And I'm like, I ain't got nothing on me right now. So she knew that I didn't believe her about the money thing. So she had showed me some receipt that she had. But it wasn't like how you'll go to the ATM and get a receipt when you take some cash out and it'll show you your balance. It was kind of like a funny looking receipt. It looked like she had typed it up on a computer and then printed it out and cut it out to make it look like a receipt. And she had sent me a picture of it and showed me like, look, I got money. And it was like over $100 some thousand. And I'm just like, something still funny about this, right? So I said, you know what? Nope, I'm going all the way through with this. So I looked her up online, found out where she lived. I found the address to where she lived. So you know me, I got to go investigate. So one day I asked her, I'm like, so you going to be, what you doing? She told me she was going to be out doing something with the kids or whatever. So I'm like, all right, cool. So let me go do this drive-by. Man, look, I drove by this house. I said, what the heck? Man, the house had boards on the windows. I pull up to the driveway. It had a padlock on the door. Like it had a padlock locking the door to the inside of the house on the outside. I'm like, you know what? Something ain't right about this. Something ain't right about this. So, I do a stakeout. I see her sitting out. I do a stakeout a couple days. And one day, like I had seen her, like, I told her we was talking on the phone the whole day, texting and stuff. And then I had seen her go home. So I'm like, all right, well, let me see. I'm on the street already. She pulled up to that house. And she went into the garage. I'm like, hold on. This house look abandoned. So the house wasn't under renovations. The house was actually, she was about to lose the house. It was in foreclosure or whatever. She was about to lose it and she wasn't supposed to be there. And she had her shit stored in the garage. And come to find out, she was staying over at, different friends' houses and cousins' houses with the kids like every other day or, once a week. And I'm like, hold on, man, what is going on? So I was like, you know what? You got too much going on. So I cut it off or whatever. Man, look. So I had a birthday party at the house, right? And she had got me a little cake for my birthday. So I'm at the crib and, we ain't talking no more at this point after my birthday party. So she started blowing my phone up. She popped up at the crib. And, luckily I wasn't there when she was popping up, but she just kept on saying, I'm outside. You need to come outside and talk to me, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, man, look, I'm not coming outside to talk to you, man. I'm like, nah, man, you be lying too much about your life. And that's what it was. I told her that I feel like she'd be up to some sneaky stuff because I'm like, you ain't never brought me to your crib. I'm like, I don't like the vibe. It just seemed weird, like something ain't right about you or whatever. And she just, like, she got mad or whatever and blew up on me. So I was just like, I'm good. Man, do you know, it got so bad one time that she was popping up at my crib multiple times per day. And one day I was home and I had my roommate was there with me. So she popped up at the door. I'm in there chilling on the couch. And I see her pull up in the yard. I'm like, oh my God, man. So we had one of those houses. We didn't have a front, like a screen door. So when you open up our front door, you right in the house. So I'm like, damn, I think she gonna try to shoulder her way into the crib. So I jump up, I go in the damn basement. So I'm in the basement and I tell my roommate, I'm like, look, hey man, look, just tell her I ain't here, bro. Like, just like, please, man, get her up out of here, man. So he's like, all right, man, I got you, man. So I hear him at the door. He opened up the door. And she outside like, I know he in there. Why you lying for him? Blah, blah, blah. I'm in the basement, man. I'm like, come on, man. This is some bullshit. Why am I hiding? So she say, okay, he don't want to mess with me no more. You know what? I want my birthday cake back that I got him. Hey, listen, y'all. My birthday had been like 5 days ago. 5 days before that. Man, there was about 4 slices left. He looked at her and said, hey, You really want that birthday cake back? She was like, yeah, I want my birthday cake back. And this is what let me know. She fried. She wanted it was probably a quarter of the cake left, man. Maybe 2-3 slices. It was one of them round cakes. So it was like just a little triangle left, man. And he told her, he was like, yeah, so it's only like a little piece left. I want my cake back. He called me on the phone. He said, hey, man, she wanted the cake back. I said, man, give her that damn cake, man. That's when I knew she was cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. So I had to get on up out of there, man. He called me and I'm in the basement talking to him from in the basement. I'm like, man, I can't do this, man. So I had to leave her alone, man. But, it ain't over. So, my same roommate, right? He, I think he might be the worst of them all when it comes to the story about the worst thing you ever had to do to leave a situation, to get out of a date or a little situation you was in. So this is the same house. We still living in the same house, right? So, one night I'm in the room, I'm just sleeping. I'm just laid out. It's late. It's probably like 1 a.m. I'm knocked out. So in my sleep, I kept hearing a baby cry, like, a newborn. That newborn baby cry, you could tell. It ain't no 4, 5, 6 months. It was a newborn baby cry. So I'm like, no, this dude, he ain't got no newborn baby. So I just keep hearing this baby cry, and I'm thinking, I'm dreaming or something ain't right. So I'm laid out, sleeping. I just keep hearing this baby cry. So some said, get up. I get up. I walk out my room. So his room was right next to mine. I had 2 doors on my room, though, so I had to go out the one door by his room to figure out, where's this baby sound coming from. So I'm like, I wake up and I realize, I'm like, oh, it's really a baby in here, a newborn. It's 1-something in the morning. I walk out my room, his room door cracked, the light on, and this baby is just in there going crazy, man. I'm thinking, okay, where's this motherfucker at? So I look in his room, and I'm like, I ain't go all the way in, but I'm standing like in the crack. And all I smell is just pure shit. It smell like just straight doo-doo. I'm talking about, it smelled like dog doo-doo. I'm like, God damn. So I'm like, hold on, what's going on? So I cracked the door open. It's some random chick just sitting on the bed looking like this. And her newborn baby is just sitting there on the ground in the car seat, shitty than the motherfucker, just going crazy. And she just sitting there on the phone, holding the phone, and ain't saying nothing, just sitting. And I'm like, hey, everything all right? She just looked at me and was just, because I don't know who this is. My dude, he gone. He ain't even here. He ain't even at the crib. So I'm looking like, everything cool? The baby cool? She was just like, oh, yeah, he okay. He might be a little hungry. I said, yeah. And he probably he took a shit too. I'm like, you might want to change the diaper. So she was just like, oh, yeah, I probably should change the diaper, huh? I'm like, yeah. So I started automatically thinking oh, this is a kid, man. Like, not no like underage kid, but she was probably like 19 years old. like 19, maybe 20. So I'm like, so, where dude at? She was just like, I don't know. He just like jumped up and got dressed real quick, and he just ran out the house and got in his car and left. I said, really? She said, yeah, I don't know what's going on. I'll be right back. I walk outside. I'm like, I'm in my room. I'm like, what is going on in my life? So I call this man. I say, hey, man, what the fuck is going on, bruh? Like, why this girl sitting in the room, dude, with a baby, and the baby shit got the whole room smelling like shit, bruh? He say, man, you ain't gonna believe it, man. I've been on that goddamn Plenty of Fish application, man. And I met her on Plenty of Fish, man. And she was she was gonna come through, and she had told me that she had just had a baby or whatever, and I told her to just come through. I'm like, dude, she got a newborn baby. I'm like, so you that thirsty for some cheeks that you just gonna have this chick come through with a newborn baby, bruh? He was like, yeah, man, I don't know what I was thinking, man. But, man, hey, look, man, can you tell her? I'm like, no, first of all, where you at? Man, I'm sitting around the corner in the car. This dude got in the car, got dressed, got in the car, and drove around the corner from the house and just was sitting on the side of the street. And I'm thinking to myself, like, man, what was your plan? Because he didn't call me, I called him. I'm like, what was your plan, bruh? Because I'm like, if you just was going to sit there on the side of the street and just wait for her to keep sneaking back around the corner to see if she pulled out the driveway? So he's like, man, look, man, can you please just tell her that I got called into work, bruh, and, man, I can't come back home, so she got to leave. I'm like, man, this is some bullshit, bruh. So at that time, I was on Plenty of Fish, too. So I go in the room, and I'm like, look, man, he ain't even coming back, man. He at work, looking out for him. He had to go. He got called in on emergency to work. She was like, for real? That's fucked up. I'm like, yeah, man. I'm like, but you know what, man? I'll help you get the baby to the car. I'm just like, at this point now, I feel sorry for her. She was just like, will you? I was like, yeah, I got you, man. I got you. So she had lost her phone somewhere in the house. So I'm like, damn. She like, so, damn, I can't find my phone. I've been looking for my phone. I said, what's your number? I'll call your number and I'll help you find your phone. And I was like, just leave the baby here. So I watched her baby for her, right? So I'm just sitting there watching the baby, little newborn, man. I ain't mine. I love the kids. So I'm watching her little kid for her, and she going all around looking for her phone. I said, well, look, I'll call your phone and just listen for the, to hear it ring. And she was just, okay, that's a smart idea. So I called her phone, and she had ended up leaving her phone in the car. So she come back in the crib, and I grabbed the baby, covered up the baby. I walked the baby outside, put the baby in the car, I gave her the baby. She just sat the baby in the back seat, and she just got in the car, and I'm like, oh yeah, you a new mom. So I said, you got to strap the baby in. She was just like looking confused. I'm like, yeah, like the car seat clips onto this, and then you got to put the belt, the seat belt around them. She was about to just drive off with the baby just sitting in the back seat, just free, floating around freely. I'm like, man, what is going on in my life, man? So she was like, you know what? I really appreciate you helping me out. I'm like, I got you, man. You good. So she leave. Man, I go in the house. Next thing I know, I get a text message from this girl. Thank you so much for having my back. Oh my God, your friend is a piece of shit. Blah, blah, blah. But what's up with me and you? Man, I said, I'm good. I'm good, man. I'm fucking good. So this dude ended up coming back home, man. I'm just like, dude, what the fuck was you thinking, bro? What was you thinking, man? That was probably the worst situation I ever been. One of the worst situations I ever been in my life, man. But I'm thinking for him, that had to be one of the worst. That had to be the worst for him. It had to be. But that takes me back to an episode that I previously had where I was talking about you got to start doing more research, man. And that goes for men too. You know, if you out here dating people, man, look, you get with somebody and they tell you they got a newborn child, man, just know what you in for. If they have zero experience, you know, with kids, oh my God, your ass is done. You in for one. But my dude, he said, I'm going to take a chance tonight. I'm going to take a chance. I need these buns. I'm like, dude, you about to get buns with a newborn baby just sitting right there next to you all shitty and shit. But yeah, so that was my my little 3 little quick stories about some, you know, a few situations where somebody had to do something to get out of a date or somebody, or to get somebody to leave their crib. Yeah, man, but that was crazy. But yeah, man, that's going to be a wrap for this episode of Let's Talk Podcast, man. I got to move on. Again, smash that like button. Please subscribe to my channel. Please turn on that bell notification so that you will be notified when I drop a new video. So the description and all the links to my different social media platforms or whatever is down in the description of the video. So yeah, check me out on all my different social media platforms and stuff like that. And until the next time, people, I'm tired. I got to get some rest. Peace.